Is this thing on? The MLB season is entering its final week, and as a Boston Red Sox fan, I will not be enjoying October baseball for the third year in a row. So I thought it would be cool to start that once a week I'll upload a new video talking about what I think the Red Sox can do to make it so that way in 2025 we don't have that happen again. First things first, we'll start off talking about the pending free agents and what I think they should do with each of them. First off, we got the closer, Kenley Jansen. Kenley boy's up. Never down. In his 2 years with the Boston Red Sox, he posted a 3.44 ERA in 99 and a third innings, picking up 56 saves. If the Red Sox intend to be competitive in 2025, I do believe that they need a bona fide closer, whether that comes from in-house, which I do believe could be Justin Slayton, or Liam Hendriks if he returns to his 2021-22 self. But wouldn't hate the idea of bringing back Kenley Jansen on a one-year deal if the money is right, but age concerns me a little bit. Breaking down a little bit would just depend on what the contract looks like. Next up, we got Nicky Smooches, Nick Pivetta, best walking off the mound screams in baseball. As a starter, no, don't want him back. Too many options at that point. As a reliever, maybe if the price is right, but I believe a team's going to view him as a starter and pay him as such. So out on Nick Pivetta for the 2025 Red Sox. Luis Garcia better not be on this team come opening day 2025, or I will not be watching. The idea of the trade made sense, didn't work out. James Paxton, another trade that just didn't work. Sounds like he's going to retire. Okay with that. Wish things could have gone better in his second stint in Boston. 2023, Chris Martin might have genuinely been the best reliever in baseball that year. I have the same concerns for him that I do with Kenley. He's getting a little old. He's breaking down a little bit. But once again, if it's going to be a cheap one-year deal that sets him up as the eighth inning arm for this team, I think it's great. Really wish he could have been on a competitive Red Sox team in the last 2 years that was making a push for October, but hopefully he comes back. If not, so be it. There are other options that are younger available. Red Sox unfortunately went 0 for 3 in terms of trade deadline pitcher acquisitions. Third of them being Lucas Sims. Never really worked. He just walks too many guys to be a high leverage arm, but once again, if they're bringing him back cheap, he's going to be your sixth inning arm, maybe just like clean up in a blowout or not close game, then I'm all for it. But once again, think there's going to be better options available. Moving on to the position player side of things, we've got Mr. 2 teams in 1 game himself, Kenley Jansen. If the plan is for Kyle Teel to be on the opening day roster, you don't have room for another catcher, and that's fine. I would only want Kenley Jansen if he's going to be cheap on a one-year deal and you feel like you can get rid of him as soon as Kyle Teel's available and ready to come up. But if you don't want to go with him, I mean, you still have Mickey Gasper on the 40-man. Reese McGuire is still on the organization, and you could bring him up as another cheap option. And he's a lefty, which, would complement Connor Wong. But ultimately, the Red Sox got to get better defensively at catcher. Connor Wong's going to need a day off here or there. He's having the best year of his career, but he's not great defensively. Only reason I'd be okay with it is that robot umps are coming and framing's no longer going to matter. But if Kenley Jansen is going to be cheap, Kyle Teel's not ready to go, I'm okay with bringing him back. Last but not least, we got Mr. Biceps the size of my head, Tyler ONeal. Only way it's really going to make sense if he comes back is if there's a trade that opens things up for him to get everyday at-bats, whether it's Yoshida, Duran, Wilyer, whatever happens that opens it up. I'd be okay with bringing Tyler ONeal back, especially since there's the need for a righty power bat with the rest of this lineup. Would prefer if he moved to DH and, he got some time in the outfield, especially with Roman Anthony coming up, especially to keep him healthy and with the declining defense. Biggest issues for him, is he going to stay healthy? And he's going to be really hot for stretches, and he's going to seem like he can't touch a baseball for a week or two. But I wouldn't hate bringing him back, especially with the need for a power righty bat that plays at Fenway. Dude crushes baseballs. Biggest things with all of the guys I talked about before is what the roster looks like on opening day. What moves happen that open up spots for people to get everyday at-bats, especially when you got these 3 coming up and Christian Campbell on the rise. You got to be willing to part with some guys that you don't really want to, but especially on the pitching side, they're going to need to either retain or get some guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, what you would change, and who do you want the Red Sox to target most in free agency this year?